I stopped counting the calories. I stopped weighing myself so much. This is about a mind-body connection. I need to be connected mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And if it's not filling me up in those ways, why am I going? The gym wasn't the only form of movement. Walking wasn't the only form of movement. I could switch it up. Pilates gave me that fire that I needed. Stretching, strength training, mobility. Going to aerial hoop, doing the skating, getting into contortions, in addition to targeting those fitness goals for me, are also just very fun and very freeing. Reggaeton, Afro beats, amapiano, dance hall. I just want to feel like when I'm moving, I'm at a party. I'm having a good time, like it's fun, like this is a vibe, like I want to be here. This is what I've just found works for me. When you find what works for you, that is what will keep you motivated. That is what will keep you consistent. I'm capable of doing more. My body is capable of doing more. I realized that I needed to remove those limits and change my perspective on what fitness meant, what movement meant. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, I want to talk about how I developed a consistent movement practice that has largely improved my quality of life. I've always been a very petite girl who has struggled to put on or maintain any weight over 100 pounds. And while I was a pretty active kid, I just didn't have a large appetite. Moreover, my metabolism has always been so high that even when I'm standing still, I burn a lot of calories. I am no stranger to nicknames that are largely based on my size, from ones like fun size and skinny mini to others like toothpick or bag of bones. And whether meant to be endearing or to actually poke fun of me, it's made me very conscious and self-conscious about my size and weight. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because it's more of a story time on how I developed my movement practice. But of course, I'm going to give you 3 tips that I recommend on developing your own movement practice that works specifically for you. And also, of course, takeaways, because we know I love a good journal or thing to ponder. So taking it back about a decade to when I was 21, 22, out of 7 days in a week, I was going to work 5 of them and in school for 2 of them. And the 2 days that I was in school, those were 12-hour days. Like I was in school from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I was art major, so my classes averaged around 3 hours. And because of my rigorous schedule, I ended up developing a lot of stress that caused me to lose a lot of weight. I mean, I dropped like 10 pounds, but I wasn't at all working out. I was just very stressed and not eating enough for my body. I was a 21, 22-year-old who weighed 83 pounds. Like it was not good. I had very low energy and had a hard time just like staying awake and completing basic tasks. So I went to the doctor, and that's when I found out that I had lost 10 pounds. And I mean, I had lost these 10 pounds in a matter of a month or two. Like it was a very short amount of time to lose 10 pounds on a person who can already barely maintain their weight. And to the fact that I wasn't trying to lose those 10 pounds, it just happened. It was very concerning. And that was the reality check I needed to get my shit together, essentially. I became more intentional about what I was eating and how often I was eating. And in addition to focusing on being more intentional with my eating habits, I was very focused on reducing my stress levels. If you are a person who stressed me out, you gotta go. If you were an activity that stressed me out, you had to go. I had to talk with my managers about my work schedule so that I could have some kind of consistency. And I worked in retail, so asking for a very specific, consistent schedule was no easy task, but thank goodness I had the best manager and a pretty supportive team. So I explained what was going on, and they worked with me to kind of make my time there easier. And while I was able to resume back to my normal weight, it all felt like such a chore and so calculated because my doctor made me download my fitness pal. So I was literally tracking my calories every day, making sure I ate a minimum amount of calories and just, avoiding things like the plague. And it just felt all so meticulous that once I got back up to my normal weight, I just kind of was like, this shit. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just trying to live my life and have fun. Like I'm 22 years old. I am meant to just live. Baby, like, this cannot be life. Like, this is not the life that God created me for. I just knew it couldn't be. Fast forward to the end of that school year and the start of summer. I went on my first and only study abroad trip to Italy, but it was my first time leaving the country. And those 6 weeks changed my life in many ways, more than just one. Trust me, but today I want to focus on how it changed my life for the better regarding fitness. So, the school I went to offered free fitness classes twice a week in the morning. And for whatever reason, I was the only person to ever sign up and show up for class. So, I ended up developing a really personal relationship with the trainer, and she ended up tailoring the class to fit my needs and my goals. And my goals were to gain more weight in the form of muscle while still looking feminine because I did not want to be a bodybuilder. But more importantly, I just wanted to feel good within my body. I was tired of feeling self conscious about being so skinny. I was tired of worrying if what I was doing was going to make me lose weight and if I needed to be, super hyper focused on my eating habits. Like, I just wanted to feel good, look good. I wanted my stamina to match the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to go on adventures. I wanted to be able to walk around, explore the town. There's a lot of up and down hills in Florence. And to this day, I forever thank that woman. I wish I could remember her name, but she is the reason that I still listen to Latin music in the gym. She inspired me to always play music that makes my body want to dance. So reggaeton, Afro beats, amapiano, dance hall. Like, I just want to feel like when I'm moving, I'm at a party. I'm having a good time. Like, it's fun. Like, this is a vibe. Like, I want to be here. Like, I need to be inspired and motivated, and it needs to feel fun. It needs to not feel so serious and so heavy. Now, with me being in Italy, y'all know there was no way I was avoiding carbs. I was eating carbs like my life depended on it, and not out of force, because it was just so available and so easy to consume. It didn't give me any gut issues. I was pasta here, bread there, pizza there. If it was a carb, I was scarfing it down. Although I don't track my weight in the same way that I used to, I remember being so excited by the end of that 6 week journey because I went to Italy weighing about 92, 93 pounds, and I came back weighing 96 pounds. And I know you're thinking that's only 3 or 4 pounds difference in 6 weeks. Maybe that's not a lot to you. But for me, someone who struggled to put on and keep on any kind of weight, becoming 96 pounds without worrying about it, without feeling like I was trying to gain weight, and without feeling like I was trying to maintain that weight, was such a reason for me to celebrate. No one else could see that I had gained that 3 pounds, but I could feel that I had gained that weight. And I felt very happy about it. It made me realize that I'm capable of doing more. My body is capable of doing more. And I set these limitations on myself based on past experiences, maybe based on societal pressures. But there was no reason for me to put those limits there. Like, those limits were created by none other than myself. You know what I mean? So I realized that I needed to remove those limits and change my perspective on what fitness meant, what movement meant, what gaining weight meant, what diet meant, just everything. I just had to reframe my mindset entirely. Fast forwarding again to 2020, the pandemic came and my industry had shut down. For those of you who don't know, I work in the film industry and have for the last 7 years. Entertainment wasn't considered essential work, so we shut down. And I mean, for like 5 months, I had so much free time on my hand. A lot of my friends were working from home, and I was just like, oof, I'm bored. I need something to do. I need a reason to wake up. I need a reason to not get depressed, to stay motivated, to just be curious and just explore and play and have a good time and just enjoy this time off. I'm actually really grateful for 2020 because I was able to determine a lot of what I wanted to leave behind and a lot of what I wanted to keep moving forward. I'm still grateful for that time because I feel like it set the foundation for where I am today in 2024. In 2020, New York City was like a desert zone. So many people had left. Those who stayed were staying in their homes, not coming outside. I mean, it was an interesting, weird, scary time for a lot of people. But me personally, and I don't know if any of you out there can relate, that was like my favorite New York City. Probably. I just loved how little activity there was going on outside because it inspired me to just get out and stay out for as long as possible. I was walking everywhere just to avoid getting on the train, getting on the bus. I was walking. If I wasn't walking, I was on the ferry. And I've never been a type of girl who really has been into cardio, running, walking. That's never been my jam. But the exploration factor in all the journeys I went on made it so worth it. I would walk from Bed-Stuy to Williamsburg, spend a lot of time by the water. I would take the ferry, explore all the stops that can go to. I even bought some roller skates. This was a time where roller skating was starting to like resurge on social media, and I'm seeing everybody on these skates, and I was like, ooh, Impala skates, like I want a cute pair of skates too. So I bought literally a pair of roller skates and rollerblades. In addition to all the walking and exploration that I was doing, as well as the skating, I developed a very intimate relationship with stretching and yoga and overall at home workouts. I loved a good YouTube video. I found some of my favorite YouTube creators who content I still watch today, even though I don't do as many home workouts as I used to. I love that I was able to develop such a loving relationship with my body. This 27-year-old body is not the same body I had when I was 22. I need to be stretching. I ended up loving to stretch. I was dancing. I would give myself 3-hour work blocks. In between those blocks, I would have dance breaks. One to just motivate and inspire me to like not be tired and get over that afternoon hump and lull. But also just because dancing was just like a way to like connect with myself in a way that wasn't rigid, wasn't super thought out, was very fun and just very freeing. One day I remember getting on a scale during this time. All of a sudden I hit 100 pounds and I was like, holy heck. I've never been 100 pounds in my life. My mind was blown. I just thought it was impossible for me to ever surpass 100, to even reach 100, let alone surpass it. So I was like, ooh, I'm 100 pounds. What else could I do? What else could I do? I started counting my calories again. Like, ooh, like I need to make sure I'm like eating a lot because I'm like moving a lot and I'm walking a lot and I don't want to lose this 100 pounds. And I became so hyper fixated on gaining weight. I mean, I was chugging down 50 grams of protein. Yeah. 50 grams of protein in a smoothie in the morning, which was just unnecessary. It was unnecessary to have that much protein in this little body who was just barely getting active. And I would be eating to the point of feeling so uncomfortably full that after a while, it stopped being fun. And the fall started to come, work started to open back up. I was a little bit annoyed with myself for even focusing on my weight and getting hyperfixated again because past experiences have proven that that was not the way for me to go. But I digress. It's what happened. It is what it is. So work opened back up and I just kind of fell back into the swing of things. It was just really hard to develop any kind of system. My work days were extremely long, 12, sometimes 14 hours. Sometimes I was starting at 8, sometimes 7, sometimes 5 a.m. And I just found it almost impossible to commit to any sort of consistency. And at that time, I felt like I needed to be going to the gym at the same time every day or it wasn't worth it. So I determined it wasn't worth it and I just didn't do it. At the top of last year, I turned 30 in January of 2023 and I found myself back in the gym and loving it. I was living there. I ended up actually living in Jersey for about 3.5 months for the Mean Girls movie. I was staying at a hotel that had a gym in the basement, and it seemed like I was the only one who ever went to the gym. So I had this whole little ritual where I would wake up, get a little stretch in, go to the gym. I was wearing these like Savage Fenty sets. I was feeling real sexy. It was making my booty look nice. And then because the hotel was on the water, I would go to the water and start my day. It was a really great system for those 3.5 months that I really needed. And even on the days that I decided to drive back home and sleep in my own bed instead, I would just wake up and do like fitness at home. Or sometimes I would just go to the gym after work or do like at home yoga or at home Pilates in my hotel room. After that job kind of ended and I was back home, I found myself myself being really anxious about going to the gym alone. Even though I had been going for the past 3.5 months, I had never really gone to the like larger gyms like a Blink or Planet Fitness by myself. I had always gone with my man. So when I got back, our schedules didn't really match up to where we could be going to the gym or he could be coming with me to the gym at the times I was looking to go. I was super anxious about going by myself. Like I was just scared and I had no reason to be, but I was. Then I discovered Club Pilates. I think I saw like an ad on Instagram for Club Pilates, like, we have free intro classes. Come sign up for a free intro class. It was like 30 minutes on the reformer. I fell in love and signed up for a membership that day. Pilates kind of gave me that fire that I needed to find my way back to some kind of movement practice. It let me know that the gym wasn't the only form of movement. Walking wasn't the only form of movement. Skating, wasn't the only form of movement. I could switch it up. I needed to look into other practices that allowed me to move my body and feel challenged and have fun. I was seeing old women in there able to do things that I could not physically do. And I was like, oh, I need to catch up, baby. I'm miles behind. Pilates strong is a different kind of strong. It is not gym strong. Pilates strong is your whole body being activated. In addition to strength training, it's also focused on mobility and flexibility. It's engaging every single muscle. Even when it's isolating muscles, it's still combining a lot of engagement in your muscles. Whereas in the gym, the movements are very static, like up, down, versus Pilates, it's like a 360 movement. That level of just mobility and movement and balance that it required let me know I need to step my shit all the way up. I need to look in and see what else I can get into. So I found this free yoga class in Chelsea Market through Shape Up NYC, which is basically free fitness classes that are offered by the city and different recreation centers throughout the city. And in the summer, they do them outside. In the winter, like colder months, they do them inside the actual rec centers. It was every week, the same time, like 7 a.m., I think on Tuesdays. I was in love. I was going. It was cold. I was waking up. It was dark, but I loved it. I loved the teacher and I loved the practice. I loved, again, being in a community and doing things together. So at the top of this year, 2024, I challenged myself to move my body every single day. And while I can't say that I've been consistent from January 1st, 2024 till today, I can say that setting that intention really helped me be more consistent than I had ever been in my life. And even when I would fall off and go a couple days without moving my body, I'd feel weird. Ooh, I haven't moved my body in a while. Like, this is weird. I have all this stagnant built up energy that I need to like expand and get out. And thanks to my lovely family, I was gifted a free month to ClassPass. Plus, when you sign up for ClassPass, you get a month free. So I had 2 free months of ClassPass. And then my best friends also gave me a gift card to sign up for this Pilates studio near me that's Black owned. And I was just like, yes, this is a great start. So I started trying out a bunch of things in that first month in ClassPass because in your first free month, you can only take a class at that studio one time. Then you have to switch it up to another studio. By the second month, I could keep going back to the same studio. So I ended up finding this Black-owned yoga studio called Green Moments Yoga, which I've talked about in, I think, the first video that I even posted on YouTube this year. So go check that out. But I love that instructor, Nagone. She's amazing. She is a powerhouse in and of herself, and there is no one like her. I mean, her energy is unmatched, and it really set the tone for committing to myself in a way that was beyond the physical, committing to myself in a way that was emotional, mental, spiritual. She really made this a full holistic practice, right? It was focused on the physical, yes, but it was focused on all the other aspects as well. The intention of her class really set the tone for my movement practice going forward. And I'm so grateful for, ClassPass for, introducing me to her and my ability to discover her because it really changed the game for me. Another thing that changed the game for me is discovering aerial hoop. So I, at the top of the year, made a vision board, and on my vision board, I put aerial silks. And I work study at a dance studio, a pole studio. When they put an aerial hoop class on our schedule, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I didn't know that was coming. I didn't know we were getting hoops. Like, what? And although I put aerial silks on my vision board, I was like, okay, I could start with the hoop. Like, I can be flexible. I can adapt in this moment. And I actually love the hoop so much. I don't even think aerial silks, for me at least, can compare. The hoop is something that will be a staple in my life for the foreseeable future. Like, I don't see me letting it go. I feel so free there. What was pivotal and key in changing my relationship with fitness and my movement practice as a whole was I stopped counting the calories. I stopped weighing myself so much. This is about a mind body connection. I need to be connected mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And if it's not filling me up in those ways, why am I going? Like, if I'm just going for the physical optics, I'm not going to stay consistent. And some of you, might be just motivated by your physical goals, and that's fine. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just knew for me, being motivated by a physical goal was just not enough. Trying to subscribe and attain certain body goals based on what I was seeing was just very unrealistic. And I felt like it would become very unhealthy. Regardless of what your physical goals and motivations are, the point and biggest takeaway that I want you to have from this video is finding what works for you. Because when you find what works for you, that is what will keep you motivated. That is what will keep you consistent. Find what personally works for you. Mondays, I like to go to the gym, focus on strength training. I'm a girl, so of course I like to build the booty, build the lower body, build up the legs. While cardio isn't my main focus because of my metabolism, I feel like in order to warm up, I like to start with a bit of cardio. So my favorite method is starting on the Stairmaster, get them stairs going. I'll increase the level every minute or two, and I'll do that for about 15 minutes. And then I get into about an hour and a half of weightlifting. And then, of course, a little bit of stretching to cool down. Tuesday mornings, I was going to yoga with Nagone, but because of my current budget, I haven't been able to keep up with my ClassPass membership. So instead, I started going to Contortion with Stephanie. She leads this amazing page called Conscious Contortion, where she invites a lot of breath work into her flexibility practice. And I love the way she teaches. It's very gentle, but it still pushes you past your limits. Like, she believes my body is capable of more than what I believe my body is capable of. And I love that because push me. I need to be inspired to go beyond my limits. And sometimes I won't always push myself beyond my limits, which is why I really love classes, because they'll see things that you can do that you don't quite recognize. And as an instructor, they know a safe way to get you over that hump so that you're not injuring yourself. On Wednesdays, I go to aerial hoop, which again, I love. There's something so freeing about flying through the air. I love it. I love it so much. I just can't change anything about it. It inspires me to want to get more flexible. It inspires me to really focus on my mobility. And above all, it's a great strength training practice because you have to have a lot of upperability and just thigh muscle control and core and back muscle control. Like, it's engaging your full body. On Thursdays, I used to go to Pilates, but again, the money. So I now go to the gym because I'd like to go to the gym at least twice a week. I'd kind of do a similar practice to what I do on Monday. I start with the Stairmaster, but I do a little bit more core on Thursdays and in addition with some leg work. On Fridays, kind of alternates between stretching and adding something else. So if all I'm going to do for that day is stretch, I will do a really deep 45-minute yoga or stretch practice. But I've recently started going to the free skating sessions at the Brooklyn Bridge Pier. So I'll do a bit of stretching because I was at the gym the night before, and then I'll skate for about an hour and a half at the skating rink. And it's just a great way to just have fun, get a little bit of cardio in, but it's also a lot of leg muscles because I'm right now trying to practice skating backwards, and the thigh muscle control that I need to do that, baby. Yeah. If you know, you know. On Saturdays, I like to just have it as a freestyle because it's just kind of based on where I am. So there's a park near me that does free yoga in the park Saturday morning. So sometimes I go there. Sometimes I don't really have the energy or, just the desire to be around people. So I'll wake up early in the morning before people are out and about, and I'll just take a walk around my neighborhood for an hour. I'll put on a really good podcast and I'll just walk for the hour. It's nice to have the conversation. Or if I'm in a mentally weird space, I'll just walk in silence and just kind of listen to the nature around me. It just helps me stay really present and in my body. I've actually really developed a loving relationship with walking, and I never thought I'd say that, but that's where I'm at. And then on Sundays, I like to stretch. Every other Sunday, I'm at the pole studio. So I'll either rent the studio, like rent out a room for an hour and just get some stretching done, and then end off my stretch session with a little bit of dancing. So I might just like freestyle, free flow, move my body. And sometimes I like to learn a little TikTok dance. I feel like it's important to mix up a lot of fun into your practice. So that is what I do Monday through Sunday, but I'm not at any way telling you that that's what you should do. This is what I've just found works for me. I like to do movement that focuses on strength training, mobility, and flexibility, because my goals as I continue to get older is to have strong muscles, but then also joint flexibility, because I've seen in my grandparents where sometimes their limit is here. They can't lift their arm all the way up. And I would like to be 60 and able to just simply just do this. I think a lot about what I would like my body to be able to do and also what I would like it to feel like. So stretching is a very important key factor. Like, I'm 31, I'm in my 30s. Stretching is important, okay? There's no way I cannot stretch. Even if it's like a little 5 minute something, like I have to stretch very consistently. So stretching, strength training, mobility, like that is key aspects to my movement practice. But also, like I said, just having fun, going to aerial hoop, doing the skating, getting into contortion, like all of these things, in addition to targeting those fitness goals for me, are also just very fun and very freeing. And they allow me to be curious and just explore what my body can do and really feel confident in what my body can do. I will say that being as committed as I've been to my movement practice now very much every day, I have gained so much confidence in other areas of my life. There's nothing I don't think I can do. My limit is limitless. I believe I can accomplish anything that I feel aligns with me. That is just a beautiful place to be in. My advice to you, if you are looking to get into a movement practice, develop a movement practice, get more consistent with your movement practice, start small, celebrate big. Do not do what you see the internet doing. You do not need to be in the gym for an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. That is unnecessary. You do not need to be taking 4 hour hot girl walks if that is not in your wheelhouse. That is okay. There's nothing wrong with doing what works for you. Doctors recommend working out at least 20 minutes a day of like intentional physical activity because it's good for your heart health. And at the end of the day, we want a healthy heart, right? So I would say start with about 10 minutes of something: stretching, walking, some jumping jacks, running on the treadmill, whatever it is that gets you up and going, whatever it is that's easily accessible to you. Start small, celebrate big. Big up yourself. Per my last video, big up yourself. I feel strongly about celebrating your wins. So when you accomplish that 10 minutes for the day or your hour for the day, celebrate yourself. And don't celebrate yourself with a cheat meal or like some kind of indulgence in that kind of way, but celebrate yourself in a way that's like, wow, like I really did that. For me, currently, I'm using a habit tracker and it makes me feel good to just bubble in for the day. Yeah, I moved. That might not be for you, but I know I need a kind of some goal to look forward to and a way to track that goal. So the habit tracker and tracking that daily really works for me. If that is going to pressure you, don't do it, but figure out what celebration looks like and what that means for you. And just remember to celebrate yourself. Variety is key. Whether you hate the gym or are a dedicated gym rat, you need variety in your routine. Whether it's leg day today, arm day tomorrow, core the next day, cardio the next day, whatever it is, or yoga today, Pilates tomorrow, walk the next day, kickboxing another day. Variety is key to keeping things fresh, to spicing things up so that you do not get bored, because boredom will kill consistency. And if you want to stay consistent, you need to switch it up. You need to give yourself something to look forward to. And if you have to do the same thing every day, it'll start to feel like more of a chore. And I don't want your movement practice to feel like a chore. I want it to be an actual practice. I want it to be a lifestyle. lifestyle. So, variety obviously looks different for everyone, but figure out what that means to you and what kind of variety and how much variety you need in your week or in your day to stay motivated to be consistent. Lastly, and the third point I would like to make is find enjoyment. Your movement practice should be something that you look forward to. It shouldn't be something that you feel forced to do. This should be something that feels like a choice. Figure out a practice that is enjoyable to you, that feels fun, that gives you something to wake up and look forward to, whether you start your day or end your day or put it in the middle of your day. You need to look forward to being active because that is what will keep you active. For me, I find that focusing on how the practice makes you feel instead of how the practice makes you look is the key to longevity and sustainability when it comes to your movement practice. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with focusing on how you look because your girl has been noticing these cakes is growing. And I don't know if anybody else notices it, but I notice it. My man notices it, and that's all that matters for me. So, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having physical goals, but I don't want your physical goal to deter you at all or to challenge your self esteem in a way that is unhealthy. I don't want you to have a certain weight in mind or a certain way that you want to look. You want to really enjoy yourself and you want to make this fun. Figure out something that impacts your body really good, but is also just fun to do. Daily movement has shown me that my body is capable of surpassing my wildest imagination. I am doing things I never in a million years thought I would be capable of doing, especially as I've gotten older. I just felt like, oh, if I didn't start that already, I'll probably never get into that, or that'll always be hard for me. But it's really shifted my perspective on what I'm capable of doing physically, but also what I'm capable of doing in all areas of my life. I truly just don't see the limits. I see endless possibilities on what I can do and what I can tap into and what I'm capable of. And it's very encouraging. It's a nice confidence builder. And it's just a really good way, again, to just be in your body. If you struggle with feeling disconnected, dissociation, it's a good way to be within your body, to be very present within yourself, and to just focus on your breathing and your movement. If I put my mind to it and it aligns with me, I can absolutely accomplish it. And I feel I owe that to my movement journey. My challenge for you today, my little journaling prompt is to find a practice that you love, but also to redefine what fitness and movement mean to you. What is your current mindset when it comes to fitness and the movement practice? And how will that shift when you're a month into your journey? It's very good to check in and also sometimes look back on where we started to where we are now to just see the growth and just kind of revel in that a little bit so we can really celebrate ourselves correctly. If you have a practice, if you figured out something that really works for you, please share it in the comments below. I would love to see what's working for you, but also your advice could really help the general community. There are people who are trying to get inspired, who are looking for ideas, and whatever you figured out that works for you, I would love to hear about it, chat about it with you. So please drop that in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Let's just like see what each other is doing. Let's inspire each other, help lift each other up, keep each other accountable, just really build a community rooted in love, rooted in support, rooted in a place that is safe and judgment free. So, lovely people, that is all I have for you today. I know it was a bit of a long video. Thank you for sticking with me through this. Thank you for sticking with me through a story time. I haven't done something like this. So, until next week, I hope you all are having a beautiful day and continue to enjoy the rest of your week. As always, love you down. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for showing up for yourselves. Bye.